gap with Grant McCleary, balked by Moss, and Nick de Waal has come flying through on the inside of the BP Nissan Sentra. Into Potter's Pass for the first time, and Dion Joubert leads Sean van der Linde with Mike Briggs third. Julian Bailey is fourth with Nick de Waal in the Nissan Sentra up to fifth from ninth on the grid as the leaders head for the rifle range sweep at around 240 kilometers an hour. We're in car with Terry Moss, and someone's trying to go around the outside of rifle range. Anthony Taylor is off the circuit at a rapid rate of knots. Taylor almost took out a couple of cars behind him, and that is a high-speed accident. Taylor looks to be okay, but it's the end of the road for the Castrol Toyota Camry as Dion Joubert leads teammate Sean van der Linde and Mike Briggs into the S's. This is race cam action from Grant McCleary's Opel Vectra. McCleary was balked at the start by Terry Moss, and from the second row of the grid is down in 8th place. McCleary and Dion Joubert are fighting for second place in the championship, and this is bad news for the Opel driver as race leader Joubert leads the charge up the hill to Beacon Bend. The race order is unchanged, with the two BMW Enviro cars ahead of Mike Briggs and Julian Bailey. Nick de Waal is 5th in the Sassel Ford Mondeos of Steve Wyndham and Sarah van der Merwe, 6th and 7th at the end of lap 1. Down through the gears, these cars will be building up to speeds of around 225 kilometers an hour as they approach Potter's Pass. Julian Bailey was saying earlier that it's a real challenge to take Potter's flat in 6th gear. Potter's and Rifle Range, where Anthony Taylor went off in the Castrol Toyota Camry, are probably two of the most daunting corners in South African motor racing. And you don't want to go off at either. Just ask Anthony Taylor. The Camry is still parked on the inside of Cocobana Corner, and Taylor almost found himself on the beach straight. Dion Joubert still leads van der Linde and Briggs, and are these terrific action shots from the race cam mounted on the side of Sean van der Linde's BMW Enviro car. Van der Linde is the reigning Super Touring champion, but Mike Briggs needs only a 4th place in this race to wrap up the 1995 AA Fleet Care Championship. Through the sweep and up the hill towards Beacon comes race leader Dion Joubert. Teammate van der Linde is riding shotgun in 2nd place as he moves over to take an inside line for Beacon. Now, is that a blocking maneuver, or does Sean van der Linde have a problem in the BMW? Mike Briggs is through into 2nd place in the Opel Vectra, and Julian Bailey has gone a long past van der Linde. Van der Linde is slowing down as the rest of the field comes streaming down the start-finish straight, and it looks as though Sean van der Linde's race is over. The reigning champion was running a strong second, but is going to park the car, and unless something dramatic happens to Mike Briggs, van der Linde is going to be the ex-Super Touring champion after this race. Dion Joubert still leads for the BMW Enviro car team, but championship leader Mike Briggs is now in 2nd place with Julian Bailey 3rd, and Sean van der Linde is not a happy young man. The body language said it all as we go in car with Grant McCleary, who is still stuck behind the Sassel Ford Mondeos of Steve Wyndham and Sarah van der Merwe. McCleary led race leader Joubert by 6 points going into this race, but Dion is on a 9-point haul at this stage of the race, and McCleary hasn't made much headway after being boxed in at the start. Race leader Joubert, Briggs and Bailey have given themselves a little breathing space, but behind them a terrific battle is starting to take shape. Nick de Waal is 4th in the BP Nissan Sentra with the two Sassel Fords right on his tail. And Wyndham and van der Merwe have a problem on their hands with McCleary. Janil de Villiers is next up, followed by Marco de Santos in the Scanmo VW Vento. There's smoke from the right front tyre of the leading BMW as Joubert went through Beacon Bend, and that will be a worry for Joubert and the BMW team. We're coming up to the halfway mark in round 17 of the AA Fleet Care Super Touring Championship, and Sabina Reck has a problem in the Motorplan BMW. That looks terminal. Back to race come action with Grant McCleary in the 2nd Opel Vectra, and he is still running behind the two Sassel Ford Mondeos. McCleary will be starting to get a little frustrated. Joubert is still on a 9-point haul, and McCleary needs to start moving up the race order. Joubert leads Briggs at Cocobana Corner, and once again there's smoke from the BMW under braking. There could be some bodywork rubbing on the tyres, and that won't be good news for Joubert late in the race. Two BMWs are already out of the running, and Sabina Reck has parked the Motorplan car at the end of the pit lane.
And I even closed the door, there was no way to brake for me, and I escaped it.
Good weather and a great crowd here at East London, and this is the battle at the front of Class B, with Leon Marie leading Duncan Voss and the championship leader Kersey Swanepoel in the BMW. Voss has won 5 races in a row in the Accord Nissan Sentra to move within a couple of points of Swanepoel in the championship. Right now it's Leon Marie who has the upper hand in the Bankfin Toyota Sprinter. Marie is a former jet fighter pilot who is now an airline captain, and he also has a win to his name in this year's AA Fleet Care Championship. Leon Marie Marie made his debut in the Super Touring Series midway through the season, so he isn't a threat in the championship. That's between Duncan Foss and Cozy Swanepoel, and tremendous late session form has seen Foss gradually close a big gap that Swanepoel built up in the early races. The halfway mark with Joubert, Briggs, Bailey, McCleary and Duval running in the top 5. That means McCleary has finally got past the Sassel-Ford Mondeos and Duval, with Terry Moss also starting to work his way through the field. Back to the Class B battle, and there's been a change in the leaderboard. Duncan Foss has moved ahead of Liam Marie, with the pair fighting out a monumental battle throughout this race. Race distance is running out and the pair are still at it. Championship leader Cozy Swanepoel running into some kind of mechanical problem, and Hein Latingen is second in the motor-built VW Jetta as Terry Moss brings the Rothmans Audi Quattro into the pits with 1 lap to go. This is the last lap, and Julian Bailey in the Minolta Camry is coming under late pressure from Steve Wyndham's Sassel-Ford Mondeo. There's also late pressure for race leader Dion Joubert in the BMW Envirocar. Championship leader Mike Briggs has moved right onto Joubert's tail, and we could be in for a grandstand finish. Briggs also has a decision to make. He would dearly love to win this race, but second place will give him the championship. Does he risk a do-or-die effort, or does he settle for second? Up ahead, the race leaders also have Foss, Marie and Swanepoel, who is a long way back on the road. Foss and Marie are fighting for Class B honours, and this is a situation fraught with danger. The Class B cars have gone wide of Beacon as Joubert locks up the brakes. Can Briggs find a way past the BMW on the dash to the line? Joubert has held it all together, and Dion Joubert wins from Mike Briggs, much to the delight of the BMW pit. Dion Joubert takes his 4th win of the season ahead of new champion Mike Briggs, with Grant McCleary 3rd and Julian Bailey 4th. Steve Wyndham and Cyril van der Merwe are also in the points, with Class B honours going to Duncan Foss ahead of Liam Marie, Hein Latingen and Nico van Rensburg.